Well, the Chinese meetings have the primary goal of convincing the Chinese government of transitioning away from coal power. And that's not just domestically, but also in terms of the Belt and Road Initiative, where China has historically been funding coal-fired power plants all over the world. But since 2020, there has been a reduction, and several countries have voluntarily decided not to go with coal power. So Pakistan, for example, which has the largest investment in the Belt and Road Initiative through the CPEC corridor, has decided not to go with coal beyond the next couple of years in terms of new investments. So that's going to be a major part of the discussion in Beijing.
What do you think the two sides are expecting from each other?
I think there is a recognition in the US that improving relations with China is now increasingly important, especially with the current turn of events in Afghanistan, where China is going to play an important role. They have continued to have their embassy operating, and so the US is really trying to find neutral ground where they can improve relations, and the environment provides that neutral ground.
Now, as I mentioned, these two sides have met earlier. They met in April for talks. Kerry says he's confident that the major emitters of greenhouse gases will be able to reach zero carbon levels in the future. But he also pointed out that time is not on our side. So does that mean that the damage has in fact already been done?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the latest report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is very sobering. And in terms of the melting of the Greenland ice cap, particularly, there could be irrevocable damage, and that's being noticed beyond any doubt in terms of the impact, and especially that region where the ice is melting. The other area where this imminent issue comes to light with China is nuclear power. China has had a very advanced nuclear energy program. The US under Biden has agreed to cautiously invest in nuclear power. $1.8 billion have been set aside for nuclear energy investment within the US Department of Energy. There was, in fact, previously a partnership between TerraPower, which was a Bill Gates startup company, to actually prototype their power plant in China. That was cancelled by the Trump administration. It may well be that there may be further discussions on nuclear energy, given that if you are really concerned about imminent climate change, nuclear energy provides the most rapid solution for decarbonization in many cases in terms of energy intensity.
Now, these talks, of course, come right before the COP26 climate change conference, which is going to be held in November. What do you think that conference will achieve?
Well, that conference is partly to do a stock take of what has been achieved since the Paris Agreement, and then to push the envelope further in terms of the nationally determined contributions that countries are making under the Paris Agreement. There may well also be greater discussion of adaptation, because there is a recognition that in some cases we are just too late with mitigation. And so there needs to be greater investment in adaptation. Climate finance will be a major part of the discussion, how you can have public-private partnerships to encourage investment in climate finance. So all of those factors are going to come into play, but decarbonization through reduction of coal is going to be a major priority with reference to China. And already we are seeing that there's considerable progress on that, with no new coal plants being financed in 2020 abroad by the Chinese government under BRI, and almost $65 billion of coal-powered plants, which were originally supposed to be put forward, have been cancelled or put on the shelf.